Hey friends, it's Jasmine, and I hope that you all are doing well. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I am a witchy content creator here on YouTube. I'm a practicing witch, high priestess, astrologer, forever student of the arcane, and I'm happy that you clicked on this video. If you're interested in other witchy things, check out the links down below. I create content on multiple different platforms. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. It's really good to see you, and I'm happy that you're here. So friends, in today's video, we are going to be closing up a year-long project.
Has it already been a year? Has it already been a year?
It has already been a year since we started this. We started this astrological sort of cosmic witchcraft series, diving into each astrological celestial season and the magic of all 12 zodiac. And I recorded this throughout the astrological year, so starting with Aries, and we're ending in Pisces. I can't believe that it's been a year of us doing this. I have filmed 2 videos, one talking about the season and then one showing a witch's working to weave the energy of that zodiac into your life and into your practice via witchcraft. I'm absolutely not super big on labels. I personally choose to identify as a witch, but different labels in the craft can be helpful, especially for things like social media, for finding content that you're wanting to look at. So I don't necessarily identify myself as a cosmic witch per se. I identify as a witch who's also an astrologer. And because I'm an astrologer and a witch, I feel like weaving your magic in alignment with the celestial bodies and the cycles of the earth and the phases of the moon is going to create the best results for your magic. That's from my own personal experience. So this is not me trying to police your practice or tell you how you have to practice. This is me saying this is what has worked really well for me, and I've gotten really good results from it. I talked about this in another video, but oftentimes I see witches interested in SBATs or interested in doing full moon workings. But aside from just gratitude rituals or banishing rituals, there's kind of some depth lacking in academic content and even just vlog-based content like this, talking about how you can weave the energies of those SBATs into your practice. So I think my next project, and I want to announce this, is that I'm going to be focusing on the SBATs, which we'll start that in Aries season. So we'll be starting at that moon, and I'll talk a little bit about that moon, and I'll share a little bit about sort of the energy. I'll talk about what zodiac it's in, and I'll share maybe a working or some other stuff. Some moons, it might be more just kind of educational, informational. Some moons, it might be more vlog based. I'm not really sure, but I put a poll out there to see what you guys were interested in. And everyone seemed to be really interested in the idea of doing moon working. So I think for 2023, we're going to be focused on SBATs. I really like this idea of having a sort of YouTube channel project that's like a year and a day, because for me, I definitely have sort of spurs of creativity that come up throughout the year where I just want to make a video about something. But having some sort of project kind of holds me to a little bit of a structure and a routine. And for those times where I'm feeling creatively blocked, I have this sort of project to lean into. And I know that I'm going to make at least 1 or 2 videos that is going to be in connection with that project. Also at this time, speaking of projects, we did the hashtag 28-day witchy challenge, which started in February and it's ending at the end of February. However, you're free to jump in whenever. You can start your 28 days whenever you want. You can find my 28-day witchy calendar post if you're looking for the challenges under my community tab here on YouTube, or you can find it on my Instagram. And by the way, my Instagram, Jasmyne Ambrosia, I'll link it here, but it's also in the description of this video. If you're looking to contact me directly, if you're wanting to book a reading or plan a collaborative project or just reach out to me, that's the best way to get in contact with me. Anyways, I apologize for the super long intro. Let's get into today's topic. As I've mentioned earlier, the last of the 12 zodiac is Pisces. This is kind of the end of our astrological year. So we have this idea of like the witch's new year or witch's night, October 31st, the end of one agricultural cycle, beginning of another. But we also have the winter solstice, which is sometimes viewed as a New Year celebration as well, because it's the rebirth of the sun, the giant, flaming, life-sustaining ball of fire in our sky. However, we also have the Gregorian New Year, January 1st, which some people choose to celebrate as a new year. And to make things more complicated, we have another New Year celebration, which would be the astrological New Year, which actually happens at the spring equinox. The spring equinox is when the sun falls under the first degree of Aries. And if you're interested in hearing more about that, you can go back a year ago and watch my Aries video. And also, as you can imagine, I have all of the other zodiacs already posted. I really need to just get them into a playlist to make them more accessible for people. That way you don't have to just scroll through my channel trying to find the zodiac that you're looking for. But I'm sure if you type in Jasmyne, Ambrosia, and then the zodiac, I would think it would pop up. Anyway, so Pisces. Pisces is the last of the astrological year, and its ruling planet is Neptune. In modern astrology, all of the zodiac correspond to a planetary body. And in Western esotericism, if we're looking at things like correspondences, most things can correspond back to a ruling planetary body. So things like scents, herbs, oils, animals, colors, seasons, times of day, days of the week, you name it.
Hams, rams, potatoes, corn.
Neptune, Poseidon, the god of the sea. That's kind of the Greco-Roman association. So the aquatic realms would be very tied to Pisces. Also the other water signs to a degree, but Pisces is really kind of cut from a different cloth than some of the other water signs. And that's because Pisces is also a mutable sign. Unlike Cancer being cardinal or Scorpio being fixed, Pisces has a very different interpretation of the element of water because it falls in a mutable category. Now, mutable signs are transitional signs of transformation. And if we're looking at this kind of in a more Vedic way, in the Holy Trinity, if you will, of creator, preserver, destroyer, cardinals would be the creator, fixed would be the preserver, and mutables would be the destroyer. So mutables also kind of usher out the season and welcome in the new season for the cardinal signs to really bring the season in. You will also see Pisces represented as a dual sign, and dual signs are signs like Gemini, the two twins, or Libra, the two sides of the scales, or Pisces, the two fish that swim in unison of each other. Also, a little nail cam. I still have these mood change nails right now. So they go from like this silver color to this darker color. I don't know. I think they're super fun. And I really want to get more of this permanent henna tattooed on my hand. And I'm kind of thinking about adding some planetary sigils to my henna. Also, I got this new phone recently. It's the iPhone 14 Pro Max, whatever. And I just record all of my content on my phone. I know that some of you guys ask me sometimes like what I record with and what my technique is. Guys, I am literally just a chick with an iPhone. Like, this is a one-woman show. I just use my phone. And that's why you often see my eyes kind of going in different directions. One, because I'm very neurodivergent and I have a hard time looking at one thing for an extended period of time. Two, because my camera is here, but my face is here, and I'm trying not to like look at myself. So anyways, Pisces would correspond to fish and aquatic marine life. There is also some lunar correspondences to Pisces, but mostly Cancer is associated with the moon. Now, if we're looking at natal astrology, if you're familiar with those spinning charts that I know can be very complicated and look very overwhelming, if you go in the description underneath and you check out my Patreon, I do have a beginner's astrology course and an advanced astrology workshop. So if you're interested in learning natal astrology or modern Western standard astrology, I do teach those classes. I have live classes in person at the shop, and then I also do live online classes. But if you're not able to make one of those, you can sign up for the Patreon and you can get access to all of my class notes, like the actual files, as well as video lectures of me walking you through the notes. And if you're a current student under that tier on the Patreon, you can definitely send me messages with questions about the course curriculum. Natal wheel, you're going to have houses. So a natal wheel is kind of broken up into 3 categories. You're going to have your zodiac, you're going to have your planetary body, and you're going to have your house. And the easiest way to describe this for those of you who maybe are just looking for some surface level astrological information to understand better about what I'm going to say, the planet is kind of like the what? Like, what are we talking about, right? Neptune, for example, because it is associated with Pisces, basically rules dreams. And the zodiac that it's in rules what we're dreaming of. And the house that it's under is associated with where that's manifesting in our life. Because those 12 little pie slices represent different aspects of our lives. And I've talked about each of these 12 houses throughout this Cosmic Witchcraft series, but the 12th house is the last and final house before we go back to the first house. The 12th house really truly is the house of spirituality. It's the house of psychic abilities. It's the house of the astral. It's a house of the ethereal. It's a very spiritual house. You can associate also religion with this as well, but it tends to be a very fluid, etheric house when you are in the house of Pisces. If you have a lot of Piscean placements, especially your big 3, like let's say your sun or moon, not so much your rising, because that's kind of more of a superficial aspect of the natal, but those are very psychic signs, kind of like when we talked about our fixed water sign of Scorpio in the 8th house, that's the witch blood, that's the occult. And so when you're looking at your own charts, or maybe some of your witchy friends' charts, and you're looking at their charts, you can find sort of this natural cosmic aspect in people's charts. Now, I want to give a disclaimer here before I upset some people. If you do not have Piscean placements, I'm not saying that you are not psychic, and I am definitely not saying that you cannot tap into your psychic abilities. And if you do not have 8th house or Scorpion placements, I'm not saying that you do not have the witch blood within you. For one, I'm not the authority figure on that. For 2, there are plenty of people that have these natural, innate, cosmic blueprints woven within their DNA, but they choose to never explore it. So you could, for example, grow up in hair salons your entire life. Maybe your mother was a hairdresser and your aunt was a hairdresser, and maybe your uncle owned a barbershop, and maybe you grew up there, and there's generations of your family who did hair. That does not mean necessarily that you're going to grow up and be a hairdresser, nor does it mean that you're going to be able to cut your way out of a paper bag. Also, the 12th house rules our dreams, and it rules our sort of astral world, rules our dreams as well. And so having visions and having dreams and astral projecting, similar to that house of Sagittarius, the 9th house, when we talked about astral projection with this whole aspect of travel, some of those things are going to be woven into the 12th house as well. It also represents death because it's the end of the astrological cycle, but it represents death in a different way than the 8th house is associated with death as well. But that sort of death is more necromancy sort of tea, as opposed to the 12th house is kind of more like death in a cyclical way, like in seasons and in changes. Now, if you've seen any other videos in this series, then you know that the point of this series is to not really so much talk about individual characteristics of people with the sun sign, but instead we're talking about the season. And if we're thinking about the astrological new year sort of coming up at the spring equinox, Pisces is really what is leading us up to that moment. And it's really transitioning us out of winter and into spring. So it's a very transformative time. So if there are things in sort of your mind and in the astral that you are looking to really bring into fruition at the spring equinox on a magical level, this is a wonderful time to do so. Also, working with the planetary seals and sigils of Neptune, having it as talismans, pendants, writing it into paper, putting it in your pillowcase can also be a wonderful astral projection and prophetic dream charm. Now, I will definitely make a video talking about some Piscean magic, so stay tuned for that, because that video will really finally be the seal on this 12 cosmic celestial season astrological witch. We still don't really have a proper name for it. And I'm finished with the project. So I don't know. I'm not a professional, you guys. I'm just a witch with an iPhone. Comes to flowers and scents and herbs, I would associate anything that can correspond back to the planet Neptune. Also, if we're looking at deities, there's a Venusian aspect to Pisces because Pisces, Poseidon, Neptune is associated with Aphrodite. So there's also kind of some love tea mixed into Pisces as well. And when it comes to flowers, I would say that anything that is an aquatic plant or any sort of scents that remind you of the aquatic realms, but also very spiritual scents like frankincense or myrrh, I feel like could also be associated with Pisces, given the fact that it is the height of spirituality in the natal wheel and psychic abilities and gifts. I hope that you all have been enjoying this project, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video talking about some Piscean magic. So stay tuned for that. It's been really fun watching all of your 28-day witchy challenges. I really appreciate you guys kind of doing this project with me and also helping me be accountable for doing it as well. Especially some of you content creators out there who are making content using this challenge. I really enjoy seeing the different interpretations of the topics, and I'm feeling very inspired to maybe do some sort of collaborative challenge, community challenge, maybe once a season. I'm not really sure. I kind of think I would like to do one for like spring, summer, like that time of year, and maybe just do like 7 days witchy or something and have it be more plant-based, genus loci based, getting out in nature based. And if you choose to do it 7 days consecutively, or if you choose to just pick a day's topic as you will and, you know, do it when you can, then that's fine too. I'm still kind of tweaking it out, but I like this idea of doing like a week-long challenge of connecting with your genus loci. So comment down below and let me know if that is something that you would be interested in. Also, I wanted to let you all know that there will be a live palmistry class that is coming up. So make sure to check out my Instagram or follow Third Eye Fortunes on Facebook so you can see all of the details for that event. If you're interested in participating in person, I believe that the shop is currently taking enrollment for students. And also if you're interested in taking the class live and online, you can do so that way. And you can take it from wherever in the world you are. Or if you want to just take it at your own pace, like I said, check out the Patreon, because all of my class notes and files for palmistry are already uploaded to the Patreon, but there might be new videos for when I'm teaching the live class, because when I am teaching, I'm recording myself giving these lectures and I'm recording some of the discussions. And so those will be posted privately on the Patreon underneath the student tier. Enough shameless promotion. I really hope that you all are doing well. I hope that wherever this video finds you, you are blessed, healthy, wealthy, hydrated, and thriving. And until next time, friends, blessed be, and I will see you in hell.